Okay, so I have a few things to talk about, but because it's kind of some stuff that had happened or whatever, so I still may come back later and talk about some more things that are going on. I haven't really gone through enough to really see a lot what's going on, but I already had too many things to talk about or whatever. One of the things, I'm already getting jumbled. One of the things, okay, I'm just going to start with this one because this was super trippy. And I have talked about this stuff so many times. And so nobody, unless they've experienced something like this, can even comprehend it, I don't think. And to me, it is something about your consciousness being able to focus your attention somewhere else. So it is something about, I mean, I think some of the stuff I just do it naturally. So it's hard to try and tell somebody how to do it. But it is something about being able to shift your focus changes uh, your experience. Like, okay, so this was, I went to bed, last night. I went to bed super early too. I was so tired, and Stella was already snoozing for like an hour, and she was so fucking whiny. Oh my God. Her whininess is really stressing me out because I'm always worried. And then, some of the stuff that she does, and I'm like, oh my God, does she have cancer or something? I'm doing all the detoxing. I'm not going to go, have them give more chemicals. I'm just going to keep doing the detox. So, yeah, I don't know, but she does some weird things, that she used to enjoy so much, and she'll do them for a second, and then it's like, I don't know. Seems like something bothering her, if it's they're shaking her head, if it's something in her ear, and I don't know, maybe it's, who knows? It's like you could go on and on and on, trying to figure it out. I'm sure it's something to do with some kind of environmental crap, probably something crawled in her ear or something, who knows. But anyway, so I went to bed super early, and I went and laid down. My muscles, like I said, have been just killing me. Like, I don't know what they have sprayed us with. And I don't know if whatever with the muscle ache, if it's meant to try and, cause some sort of muscle aching so people think they're sick or something. I'm not sure, but god damn, they hurt. I keep doing stretching, and it's like, it doesn't matter how much you pull them, it just goes right back into just really super painful. And so I laid on my side, and I crawled into the most smallest ball I could make myself. I pulled everything so tight into this ball. And it was weird because I always like to sleep on my side. I always like go into fetus position. And then when I was doing that, but something changed. And all of a sudden I wasn't, it was like, I've had this happen so many times. But it was like, so I crawled into this ball, and so I kind of, in my thought process, was thinking about how good it feels to just crawl into that ball as a being, and this like protection mode, kind of like a roly-poly. That's what kind of gave me the feeling of like a roly-poly. And when I did it, then it was kind of like the awareness was my soul was inside. I was the vehicle. I was, just as they are, doing this new sentient AI that we're going to travel, our cars will be alive, thinking with us, like we'll be able to think to our cars and tell them where to go and shit. So, like that. So it's kind of like the same concept of our bodies. So that's like the evolution, because we're birthed into this avatar for this experience, right? But this experience is expanding. And so then the next vehicle, but so anyway, and I'm saying that because of how it was shown to me last night. So when I crawled into that and I was going through that thought process of this, that comfort that you feel that takes you back to that fetal position of, the beginning of comfort or safety or something, when you're all just balled up and everything, you just feel it all. And then, but all of a sudden I was the being inside. I was no longer the body. I was inside, and I had this connection to the body, but the body was separate, and the body was like this giant vehicle. And this is what this trippy is, because so many times in my life as a kid, I would have that kind of thing happen, and all of a sudden it would trip me out, because I even had it happen, since right at the beginning of my awakening. But it would all of a sudden, it would be like, changes your perception of your space. When you're going around and you're feeling like your body, you're moving through a certain way, but all of a sudden when you become giant, it was like, it's the weirdest feeling. And all of a sudden you're giant. And it even feels like, there was this one time where I even felt like I was too big for the room. And all of a sudden I felt like, oh my God, how do I move around in here? It was the weirdest thing. And it kind of gives me that Alice in Wonderland kind of thing, when she goes to this really small, really big, because that is like what it feels like. Oh, like that represents kind of what it feels like, but you don't understand what it feels like unless you've had it happen. And it is really weird. It is, I don't know, sometimes I think I've always been between two worlds. And so, I have a harder time being in this one. I easily go over into the other one. And it is so trippy when you have these kinds of perspective changes. Like it's like a quick change. And so when I was laying there and it happened, I didn't get weirded out or creeped out or something. I really started kind of going into it like, oh my gosh. So my soul, we're fractals of the energy that we hold, and it's trippy because the energy is kind of different, because it's like an illumination. So it's small, the fractal is small, but the illumination is huge, the aura of the being. So that takes up the space and of the vehicle. And so to get that whole concept of feeling myself and feeling what it felt like to be inside this vehicle, inside this spaceship that was for this experience. And I think that they are showing me that kind of stuff, making that kind of stuff clear to me or something, because of this whole thing of what we're moving into, where we're gonna go more into this, because the whole quantum system is your consciousness working with the quantum mind, the AI mind or something. I don't really get the whole thing. That stuff is pretty scientific. I just understand the spiritual stuff, like all of that stuff. Like I can understand some of it, but I sure can't explain it. But I think there's so much information available about quantum physics, and in the Nisargadatta, in the patents and stuff, it talks about quantum, that like they've been talking about that ever since they started talking about the money crash. It's the quantum system, but it's going to be so much bigger than that. But I think it is like this step forward, and I swear, and I like just all the things that they show me and stuff, just like shoes, and then them telling us, oh, put these plastic tread on your shoes, put these plastic tread on your cars. Like all of our vehicles, they control our movement. They control where we go. They control how we move. All of it. It's just it's so trippy when you really start seeing like how how we are as consciousness in this reality, how we're so contained and controlled. It's weird the more you can see it and stuff. And I had just seen this video, and this girl, she was doing something about, I think because of the floods, I don't remember, she was saying something about like, well, the earth changes every 12,000 years, and we're in the process of the same stuff that I say like she's about to stretch and like turn over in the bed, and she said something similar to that, but not exactly, but that she's shifting. She does it every 12,000 years. And so we're in the midst of that. But while she's doing her talk, she's showing every map that, I don't know, I would think every map she could find that showed the projection. There was a bunch. There was more maps than unless there was a lot. She had a lot. So I was trying to really look as it was going and see where I'm at, because that is always a thing. Because she was saying in her thing, you know, she's showing the maps, like, this is going down, you know, like, you follow your guidance, you stay where you're supposed to be, you know. But if your guidance is telling you get up and go, you need to be looking at this, because this is about to change. This is about to be reality. And, you know, that's what I for sure think, like, thinking about where to move or something. I talked to a guy yesterday, and he was saying that he thinks Wyoming is going to have a big thing happen. Now, I thought that a lot of those places out by the Dakotas and stuff were really hit hard with the last blizzard, wind, cyclone, whatever the fuck they want to call it. And so then I thought that they already had some. But he was saying, because he has a strong guidance, he's always going and talking about what his guides are telling him. And and I said something, I was talking about, like, I'm over here on this coast. And so, you know, to me, there's more of an awareness of what goes on in my area that they show me and stuff like that. But, you know, I have awareness, like, I'll see stuff about, like, Alaska flood, Kentucky flood, like, but I don't know the actual areas or how much area is affected. You know, I just know there just keeps being traumatic loss after loss, and it's going to continue. But you got to just keep remembering that's their soul contract thing. That's what they came in to experience. So just because it happens to one person doesn't mean it's going to automatically happen to you. Each person has designed their own experience to experience for this whole transformation. So that, but, you know, I do think you got to have the awareness like that. So I don't know what's going to happen in Wyoming. He's over there, so his guidance could be Morris. I think he's in Illinois. In fucking Ohio, Illinois, like, there's so much shit. Like, God, it's just crazy. But over a year, when, you know, when she was showing that map thing, and so I was really trying to see my exact area. In most of the maps, it looks like where Vancouver is, that there somehow, it's the mountain range. It's the mountain range I'm on. That's what's going to stay. But it seems like it kind of goes up by where Vancouver is and kind of does like a little turn. And so it's like a very, very small area. And I was looking at map after map. I was really trying to see, like, okay, I should be right there. And so I kept trying to see, and it kept looking like this little space. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be, it wouldn't be an island. It would be an American island that would be attached to Canada. So it'd be very, very isolated own place. That's what I kept saying. Like, I mean, we're very isolated here. They start bringing in the water like they are in California, which I know that they're going to. I mean, the cyclone that's hitting today, there's one hitting today, and it is bigger than the last one. But because people keep showing this map of the weather map, and it is because people over there are freaking out. But the cyclone that's hitting today is bigger than the one that just hit, which was horrible. The people who were videoing about it, and so it's bigger. But on the map, the one that's behind that is like fucking 4 or 5 times the size. Like, it's so fucking brutal. It is like something you've never seen. Like, if you haven't seen the weather maps of them showing this storm coming in, it looks like the fucking devil. It's like, it's creepy as fuck looking. I'd be scared too. Nah, so I don't know, that one being so much bigger. Like, here it's just raining, and it hasn't been really windy or anything like that. But this one coming in could definitely, because definitely the predictions, what I keep hearing and stuff like that is, you know, the sudden water thing happening, like there's going to be like a tsunami. I heard somebody, and there's still the whole thing with the tsunami over by New York, but over here, that would be what would take out like Seattle. And that's when, I'll be more trapped over here. Once that happens, once Seattle's down. But, if I'm right on the guessing on my map, I'm going to be in a very exclusive area. But it's not going to be like the same as, how things were before, where people had to pay a lot of money for stuff. Like, who knows? This could be completely ravaged. I don't know what's going to happen. And the water could rise a lot up, because I'm only at 900 feet. And I don't even know how high it goes. And so I don't know, because you can't see that close on the map thing. But there's a lot of places that I would be like, fuck, I would leave. Louisiana, definitely 100%. But every border coastal town is about to completely be transformed. Like, this is, and what's so crazy is the mass amount of people are going to be killed by it. Because, while they're all looking at these, and then here's going to come a storm, and it's going to fucking take out the whole goddamn coast. That's going to be fucking huge population reduction right there. Like, there's already been so many people killed in these storms, and then the biggest one's about to hit, and they've already got, like, mudslides, landslides, fucking, oh my gosh, all the videos, shit, it's insane. And what's even crazier is when people are posting, people like on the East Coast, I'm sure it's got to be trolls or bots, because this is ridiculous. It's just stuff to keep people divided. But they're going in and attacking them and telling them that they can't even handle storms. Now we got our storm's worse than your storm. No, my storm's worse. No, my storm's worse. It's like, what the fuck? God damn. What the... Sometimes some of these human characteristics are just like, what? But, there's so much of it is programmed. People are just not themselves. It's like, oh my God, look at this logically. Like, how much energy are you going to expel arguing over whose storm is worse? And then how inappropriate for people to go in and attack people that are in the middle of a storm instead of showing support when other people have gone on. There's been a lot of support. And then California, but there is definitely, like a for sure shallowness on some of the videos that I see. I don't know. Maybe for some of them it is like they want to just get out there and brag. Like, look, we're in a bad storm now. I don't know. Everybody's got their... Oh, my throat's super scratchy. Maybe I'll just have to start back in a minute. I'll just start back in a minute because it's going to keep doing it. I can't get it to stop, so I'll be back in a minute.